Hello everybody. Right.
Hello everyone.
Hopefully everybody can see us. I'm trying to do
Are we all?
You're not too bad yourself, Robin?
Oh, not too bad, Pete.
Hopefully people can hear us and see us and stuff. I'm just trying to do this is my hand. Can you see my hand here? Here's my hand. I'm just trying to sort out OBS has a mode where you can see what you're going to switch to before you switch to it, so you don't massively balls things up, which is quite handy. So I'm just hopefully using that properly now. We've got 13 people on at the minute, Robin.
Hello everyone. Give us a like.
We got Milgiet gives a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. Not we've done anything yet, but you should do it anyway, just in case. We've got Milky Paints in the house. We've got John Great who's going to be painting more Hadzu. Hadzu told me that yesterday. I'd be looking forward to this even more. Robert Davies, Rosa, Gavin Scott, Into the Glory Hole, Ildefonso Lazor, Darren Kelso. Hello everyone. Darren says he's not painting today, but he'll live vicariously through us all. We'll welcome aboard anyway.
Apparently you're ready for action is very loud.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can do much about that, but there we go.
Rumour has it.
Rumour has it.
What are you painting today, Pete?
Well, I've got some. So we had the vote, and Heroes and Rank and File Gribblies won out. So I've got some of each to play around with today.
Okay.
So I was just going to start by just whacking some basic stuff on some of the zombies and stuff like that. Hopefully everybody can see that. And hopefully
I've got a couple of zombies out as well. A couple of zombies and a cup of tea. Very important.
Don't get them mixed up.
And the elf. I'll probably dip my paintbrush in the tea later.
So I'm going to go for a classic approach with the zombie. I'm going to use some Plaguebearer flesh on it.
Okay.
But I also, or actually no, I saw a thing which said if you use Griffcharger Grey, I think it was, and you mix that like 3:1 parts with the technical medium, it gets a nice sort of pallid greyish kind of tone. So I'm going to try that.
Is that contrast?
Yeah.
I feel like these zombies are quite good for contrast.
Yes, I definitely think so.
People have been moaning about these. I really like them.
Well, the zombies.
Yeah.
I think that just goes to show you that people will moan about anything.
I agree, it's a slightly odd setup, but yeah, it's a fantasy game made up. so the fact that they're perhaps not exactly how people will be buried is pretty good to me.
I mean, if you lived in a world where the dead regularly got up again, wouldn't you be sure to stick something through them before you buried them just to be safe?
They're so far not from the ground, you know, they're not 6 feet under, they're like 6 inches under.
True. But at the same time, I mean, again, maybe people haven't got the time to bury things properly.
Yeah, I was going to do the Witch Hunter, but I thought just about every painter I've seen is on the Witch Hunter, so I'm going to do the Elf, which is probably the second most painted one. But there we go. What have I not got very much charge? Actually, that's all right.
I think I might have put a bit too much medium in with my Griffcharger. It's very, very watery, but then that is contrast in general, so just trying to darken it up a little bit.
So I'm actually going to start painting it.
Woo.
I haven't got so many contrasts as you would have it.
No, I've definitely gone all in on the contrast front. It's definitely been my...
I had to rush back from the hairdresser, so I'm not very with it.
We're going to need a before and after.
Sorry?
We're going to need a before and after.
I'll if you're on a Patreon Discord, you get before and after. Oh, somebody hasn't put it on this apocryphally white, probably me. I'm just shaking it and it's gone everywhere.
Oh dear.
Back after this message.
Oh dear, oh dear.
I'm intrigued by these scale 75 contrast paints that I've been hearing about on our Patreon Discord.
Yes, I'm quite interested to see what they look like as well.
They have drop and bottles and not these stupid lids, so I won't be able to do that with them. I think I basically just need to throw them up and still paint them.
Surely you just need to send them to Loz with a bunch of things to.
True, yeah.
I've heard she's very reasonably priced. That sort of sounds wrong actually. That implies that Loz is some kind of lady of negotiable affection. That's not what I meant at all. But her bottling services are very reasonably priced.
I'm a little quiet apparently.
Let me try and boost you a little. Try now.
I either need to move the camera up slightly or hold them all lower when you show them off. Right, yeah, thank you. I've hopefully adjusted my screen so I can see it now.
I see what they mean with this Griff Charger colour. If you water it down a bit and put it on, it gives it like a very bluish, dead skin sort of tone, which is quite nice.
Okay, well I've tried to mix Militarum green and Apothecary white.
Militarum I find is quite dark. It's much darker than Plague Bearer Flesh.
Right, I'm actually going to paint now. Let's get this in the right place.
That's my. I need to get more. I need to get a new thing on my wet palette for next time. I've really used all the space up. So I'm breaking probably one of the golden rules by just using areas where the paint's dried and sticking some paint that looks of a similar hue onto the same spot. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm assuming that Into the Glory Hole you saw that comment, Robin, about holding the models up.
Yeah, I did. I moved the camera. I'm still not quite, because I think
Rob Dave says he's got the Vargo.
So I'm looking off. I'm on YouTube, so the feed is a little bit behind. So.
Yes.
There you go.
Rob Dave says he's got the Vargolf coming he's got the Varg thing coming as a Vargolf through Flesh Eater Quartz from Keith from Versatile Terrain. Oh, you bought it from Keith, have you? Very nice. I'm not sure what I think about the whole thing of GW announcing that they're not going to do another run of Chaos City. That's immediately turned me off from it a little bit, I think. I don't know what you think, Robin.
Is that what they've actually...
I believe they definitely announced that they weren't going to be doing another run.
I'm not... Is that true? Because I've heard various things.
I'm sure that there was
there was some confusion as to whether it might have happened.
I was sure I saw a post on Facebook.
Whether there was some confusion whether that was about the whole rather than this.
Can you check your microphone to make sure you've got the right one on? Because your background's very windy.
I think my connection seems a bit duff today.
It is not rain, Ildefonse. It's actually quite a pleasant day at the minute out here in the United Kingdoms.
Have a look at the microphone situation.
Definitely got a few issues here. Robin's mode has gone very awry all of a sudden. Let me just try and sort that out. Yeah, I'm not sure what's gone on with your video setup, Robin. It's gone very weird all of a sudden.
Yeah, it is the razor. It is the razor.
Oh, that's suddenly gone quieter, so I'm not sure what you've done. I'm not sure what's gone on with your settings.
Better weather than last week. Yeah, it says it's definitely using the razor.
Yeah, you're I'm not sure what's
You're
going
breaking up on me. Well, I'm going to just what the boys are doing on the Wi-Fi. Maybe that's the problem because obviously they're at home today, not at school.
It's almost definitely that. There we go. Hopefully I've sorted that one out. Just need to change one thing on Robin's settings. Nobody joined today to watch us faff around with this nonsense. But there you go. That's what happens. There we are. So You're like, get off the bloody internet. I've told you once, I've told you 100 times. Right.
Yeah, that's what I've just done. So whether they'll do it or not remains to be seen.
I think wired
Can people see and can people hear me at the moment?
Well, I can. I don't know if anybody else can. I'm going to put some water down. Oh, I keep doing this every time I go to get some, to put some contrast medium into my contrast. I always put the contrast paint down first, and then I realise, oh crap! Now I've got to try and very carefully grab some contrast medium out without contaminating the pot.
Funny enough, I do actually put my contrast medium in a dropper bottle.
Probably a good idea, although then it's a bit tricky to get the right sort of amount from each. Although if you're dealing just in dropper bottles, it makes life easier.
Yeah, I've only got pots on one, dropper bottles on the other, so it is a bit of a pain. I normally end up with too much medium.
But you can always put the medium onto a palette, and then you can just dip into it without risking screwing the whole thing up. So it's not as bad.
No. I'm actually quite pleased with the way.
John Grant says he likes to paint an undercolour before using contrast paints. Yeah, I guess that's possibly that's one way of doing it. I can't be asked, frankly. I'm just too lazy. If I have to go over the same bit of model more than once, I just don't like doing it. Just life I can feel draining away from me.
I don't mind doing it, but I don't really know what I'm doing if I do that.
I mean, same here, but it's not that, that's not the only thing I don't know what I'm doing, so...
I feel like I need to utilise contrast paints better. Is that in shop? Because I've got no...
No.
I've got no feed. Hang on a minute. I turned technology. Not really working. I can't really. The problem I've got, Pete, at the moment is I can't see what you're showing because I've YouTube.
Where it is now is pretty much bang in shot, maybe a little bit towards you by like an inch, and that'd be about it.
About that?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, I need to put tape down.
Yep.
Next time.
Need to mask it.
Yeah.
The problem is the masking tape's no good because next time you set up, everything will be in a slightly different position again.
I'll have to do it each time we record. We have to meet early when I'm not having a haircut.
I think this is the eternal problem we have, that we're not set up in a studio setting.
Yeah.
So we have to come to this. We have to set it all up in advance.
Yeah.
But then it's like how instead of starting at 12, that means you're having to get online and start setting up and all that kind of thing at like 11:45 instead.
Yeah, I had to set everything up before I went off to the barbers. And being a lovely parent, I let my children go first. So they were all done and back by 11:30.
No. Next time you're gonna have to say, screw you kids.
Yeah, I'm going first.
Daddy first. I'm paying. I get to choose.
Yeah, maybe that's why I went last actually, so I could pay.
Could be. There we go. So I've done one with green and I've done one with blue. There's definitely, well, the Griff Charger one. They both definitely give very different tones, although I'm not sure which I prefer. I can definitely see me doing a mixture of the two. I maybe need to water the Griff Charger down a bit more so it's not quite as obvious, but I quite like both. So
I'm actually quite pleased with mine. Just it's Apothecary White and the whatever it's called, the with Militarum Green, which is one of the paints I use quite a lot actually. The contrast is the Militarum Green.
It's a nice colour.
Yeah, I definitely have favourites, and very much opposite of favourites of the contrast paints. I have some that I really like.
Yeah.
I think people have mentioned before, Apothecary White is normally pretty good.
Yeah, I've not actually tried that yet. I did plan on using it for I think I was going to use it on Kixie Taka, and then I didn't, basically.
Okay.
Like, oh yeah, I'll do this. No, I'm just going to do him yellow now.
I don't think I've seen your Kixie Taka. I'm guessing he's not finished.
No. He's joining the ever increasing crowd of stuff not done.
Stuff I haven't painted.
Yeah, or not finished painting.
There's so much stuff coming out now.
There is. I don't know how. Unless all you do is paint, or you seem to have an unfeasibly large amount of spare time, and if you do, damn you, damn your eyes. I don't know how you could keep up with this hobby, painting and gaming wise.
Right.
Milky says that Militarium's good over a Zenithal Prime. I could see that.
Oh, okay.
I think that's something that could help contrast in general, is having a good Zenithal Prime in place to start with. But I guess that kind of comes back to how John was saying that he always has a base and undercoat underneath it to start with.
Yeah, I haven't really, because I only use rattle cans. I haven't really quite got the Zenithal Prime. It tends to be a bit heavy-handed because I'm quite heavy-handed myself.
That's why I think like one of those little portable airbrush things could be really useful for just Zenithal priming them, because you could rattle can them black, and then you could Zenithal prime them with a white or a grey, and then maybe some white on the very highest areas afterwards.
Yeah,
could work quite nicely.
Yeah, one thing I sometimes do is put it over and then just wipe with a finger or a cloth over the top bit. If you see what I mean. So you've got the lighter underneath. You just rub the paint out on the top, so you get a highlight in that way. A very cheap way of getting a highlight.
You'd have to do it the other way around then, wouldn't you? You'd have to start with the lighter colour, put the dark on, and then wipe the dark off of the raised areas.
Yeah, normally that's just when I've sprayed Wraithbone or Grey Seer. And also, I don't know whether I go in sort of I'm not sure what the word is, but I have loyalty to certain primers, and then it suddenly switches. So for a while I was all about the Wraithbone, and then now I'm Grey Seer.
Sorry, go on.
No, and I don't know why.
I guess everybody does that with their painting. They fall in out of love with certain shades and stuff like that, or certain paints, certain methods. Some people do anyway. I know I haven't. I've stuck with Wraithbone for ages now. I think when they first came out with contrast paints, I tried a bit of both, because there was the Wraithguard and the Grey Seer. I preferred the Wraithguard because it gave a slightly warmer colour, I think. And since then, I've just not changed.
Yeah, I think that's why I went for the Wraithguard, because it is warmer. But then I think started using less contrast, or stopped using contrast. And so I then was painting solid colour over, and I preferred the grey as the base, but it's not as dark as the Mechanicus grey. So I sort of stuck with that. And then for these zombies, I wanted them to be cold, so I used Grey Seer. My connection broke when we were talking about the Curse City issue.
Oh yes.
So,
City.
It's really hard. I know there's been an official post, or apparently an official post. It's really hard to know, because Games Workshop aren't the best at communication.
No, they're rubbish.
one end of the corporation doesn't always know what's going on at the other end. I just feel like they'd be insane not to make more.
Yeah, I mean it's a license. It's a bit like Indomitus. It's just a license to print money.
Yeah, I mean somebody said it's the second fastest selling box set they've made ever. I think that's just
behind Indomitus, I presume.
Sorry?
Behind Indomitus, I presume. Sorry, I'm just going.
Which I guess the nature of where they're at the moment, they're in such a good place. So they can, everything is going to be selling quick. But I just feel like they would be shooting themselves in the foot to not make more, or make expansions.
Sorry, I'm back. What were you saying? I missed it.
Sorry, I was just saying I just think they'd be shooting themselves in the foot not to make more copies. There's people who want them, and they can make them. They must still have the molds and everything. I know they've got to consider factory time and stuff, but it just seems.
Maybe they don't. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe something catastrophic happened with the molds, and they're like, "Oh crap, we can't." So we'll just say now that we're not going to.
Maybe.
It does seem very odd for them to just
maybe, but then I almost think I mean, maybe companies don't do this, but I almost think in the name of transparency, they ought to say something catastrophic happened with the moles. It wasn't our intention, but we're doing this. So I don't think that's the case. And it seems odd to not make expansions when they did
well,
make.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the expansions front. They might still do expansions, but it would seem very bizarre to do expansions for a game they only did a single run of and aren't producing anymore.
Yeah.
I know
that's the flip side of that.
Blackstone Fortress, they didn't do a single run. They did multiple runs of it. Although they only did limited runs of the expansions, they didn't, and they're out of print now. But it's it's weird. It just makes no sense at all to me. So I'm just reading the comments here. Milky says that's how I did my worm spat. I did use Militarum for the armor. Yes, I didn't do anything else. Just Militarum on it on the Grace here. And it was on the Wraithbone. It was great. Someone said you could just dry brush them after you've undercoated them to do sort of similar job to Zenithal. I guess, although that'd be a lot more work, I could see. And the Zenithal with a airbrush would give a softer graduation on that. But yeah,
for the metal on my lizards, I dry brushed the silver, and then put contrast over the top of it, so it was shinier or brighter on the points, on the pointy bits, on the sticky up bits.
Yeah. John Grant was wondering maybe it's the card components from China that are the problem for that. I mean, maybe, but I would have thought possible. In that situation they should be able to go somewhere else and get them done.
Yeah.
Because they'll have the digitals, but I don't know. It's hard to tell. I'm trying to work out what I do with actually I'm not going to do her yet. I'm going to do a bit on the I don't even know what his name is, but he's got the saber and the pistol because he looks epic.
I've got a really grumpy face here because I've told him to stop using the internet.
Oh, Dad, I can't believe you.
Exactly. There's the young one. He was only watching Horrid Henry, so to be honest.
Doing him a favour.
I've saved him there.
Yeah, I think. Can't stand Horrid Henry, but it doesn't help that whenever my kids latch onto a cartoon, I don't mind them watching to start with. They then watch it to death.
Yeah.
I just cannot stand it.
I'm not really a fan of Horrid Henry. I'm not gonna lie.
Horrid Henry's parents are arseholes.
Yeah.
If you actually watch his parents talk, you're not giving him any benefit of the doubt here. You're picking on him. You're just not being very good parents.
Yeah. I've often thought that too. These zombies, Pete, I don't know whether you think the same. They're quite hard sometimes to tell which bits are flesh and which bits are just other things.
Yeah.
Clothes.
I'm going to take the Nurgle approach on that, and if I'm not sure, I'm going to paint it flesh coloured, and then I'll come back to it later, and I might just paint it brown or something.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just thinking, well, actually, and also it doesn't matter too much because they're just the rank and file, as it were.
Yeah.
Especially with contrast paint, some of my there's similarities in the details obviously better, but in the grunts from the Journeys of Middle Earth set, some of those are just like contrast, just like, well, that's basically leather. There might be a bit of skin caught up in there too, but never mind. Nobody will notice.
Exactly. I'm certainly not going to worry too. I'm not going to lose any sleep over if there's a bit of flesh that's painted a bit brown. If it's not obvious when you're painting it, it's not going to be obvious when it's on the table either.
Exactly. The Journeys of Middle Earth, I mean, the sculpting quality is less good on our shot. Is less good than Citadel, obviously, really. But some of them are shocking. You can't tell what's meant to be metal armor and what's supposed to be leather. It's just not. I'll just guess. What paint do I have in my hand? Oh, it's silver. Okay, well, this bit's metal then.
Rosa says he has to keep referring to the community post to see what's skin and what's cloth. Yeah. It's
okay.
a good way of doing it. You could do that.
Yeah, I don't have the inclination.
Just screw it.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm at. So I'm going to do some wood.
Rosa was saying before, and he was talking, I think it might have been yesterday or the day before in the chat, about how it takes him ages to paint. And sorry for Rosa if I'm misremembering this, do correct me if so. But getting to that point where I could look at a model and just say that's good enough took me a long time.
Yeah.
You look at something and just say,
Definitely.
that's as good as I care about it, type thing.
I think having children helps with that. I haven't got time for that to be any better than that.
Yeah, exactly. And Mr. Morph is in the house. Hello, Mr. Morph. What's going on here? We're painting a little bit. It's a lunchtime painting slot.
Yeah, or whatever time it is in your neck of the woods, painting stuff.
I'm guessing it's late evening.
It's been late Friday night.
Oh, surely you're out somewhere, VJ, doing some VJing.
Maybe he's just coming in.
Dirty stop out. Oh, for love. Why is it the minute you put a colour away, you then look at what you've done and realise you've missed stuff?
Every time.
It is Friday 9:30.
It's only 9:30. It's not that late. Not that late.
Not too bad. He did just finished a Christmas mini swap. I remember you mentioning that before. It sounded quite funky an idea. Although
Christmas mini swap.
I think I mean, VJ can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you basically, it's a bit like a Christmas Secret Santa thing, but you get each other minis to paint instead or something.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Cool. So I'm looking doing the wood now on these.
The zombies.
I've got wood, yeah.
Ooh, I'm just jumping between stuff. I'm like, I'm just going to do a bit of this here, and I'm going to do a bit of that there, and then I'm out of shot here. Fuck.
So I find the wildwood too dark for wood.
Depends on what I'm painting, but yeah, I find that that's almost better for boots and things.
Yeah. So I've mixed it with some snake bite leather and a bit of contrast medium, and now I think it's too light, but we'll press on.
You can always go back.
Well, exactly. You could do it too light. You can always do more coats. It's harder to take them off.
Yeah.
Too thin coats, as it were.
As our Lord Duncan has said.
Somebody said that once, I believe.
I'm definitely just in the phase of just slapping some coats down and not just whacking. I can't remember what this guy's called, the one with the sabre and the pistol.
Isn't he the one who's very like... His
Janus
name's very
Drake.
like... Yeah.
Is he called Anus Drake, this one? Anus Bake.
I can't remember what the Blackstone one's called, but they've got almost the same name, haven't
I thought
they?
his name was Janus Drake, or something like that.
I can't remember. Derek Janus.
Derek's Anus.
I can't remember.
Somebody can correct us. Glauro something or other, says Matt. Yeah, it could be something like Glauro. Sounds right. I mean, it sounds right as anything else.
I'm very bad at remembering the names. I don't really take them in. Like when we play Underworlds, even I can't remember. There's so many warbands now. I just can't remember the new warbands. I'm very bad at actually even learning the names.
Season 1 can probably rattle them all off without even trying. But once you get to Season 4, the warband that's just come out, like when we played the game with the vampires versus the lizardmen the other day, it's just like, I'm going to attack with this guy with the big sledgehammery thing, and I'm going to attack that lizard over there with what looks like a spear held up. VJ says they do mini swaps quarterly on both Blackjack and Tabletop Minion Group, even though he organised them. He's a slow painter and a full quarter behind. Oops. Maybe you're giving yourself too much work, VJ. You did also mention you were going to see if anybody's up for a Blitzball tournament. just saying. Just to say there, just to remind you.
No pressure.
No pressure. I'm trying to work out what I want to do with the cloth on the skellies. Try and decide.
Do you not know what to do with yourself?
I just don't know what to do with my skellies.
Ooh. Okay, the brush I'm applying this wood effect for is far too thick.
Oops.
It's just going everywhere. But never mind. It'll add to the. I've been stuck under the ground for a long time. Look over.
BJ says he wants to paint one of his Blitzball teams next. Ooh, and on that front, Blitzball team kind of finished.
You finished one?
Chaos team finished.
Chaos.
The couple of beast men, quite happy with. Just need to do the bases on them and they'll be ready. I'm quite happy with that. So I'm moving on to the to the zombies as well, doing the wood.
Okay.
Same as yourself.
I'm using a very old paintbrush to do this, and it's entirely the wrong brush now.
Oh
Because
dear.
they've got those little tendrils of twigs and things running through them. It's just going all over the skin. Never mind.
It'll be fine. You won't notice once it's on the table.
No,
Might
exactly.
not even get to the table.
No. Well, I hope it does. Although, as you were saying, it makes it harder to, with this uncertainty around it, I feel less inclined to bring it to the table and say, "Oh, look what you could have played
Here's what you could have won."
if you were faster on the draw or had money in the bank at the right time."
Exactly.
Seems a bit crap.
That is pretty much, in a nutshell, it seems a bit crap. That is 100% Robin. Not that's 100% Robin being a bit crap. I mean, the statement's 100%
Robin.
correct. I do like that there's a bell hanging off of the lid of the... on this one there's a bell, or it looks like a bell. Maybe it isn't a bell. Maybe it isn't. Maybe I'll just... I don't know, I think it's just a metal thing. I thought it was a bell from it. It would have been quite funny that they've, marking the graves with bells so that when the dead start getting up, they'll hear them. Like
There's a bell on one of them. There's a bell on the gravestone with the candles. Little kind of
maybe that's it.
Little they've got a name. Those things. I can't remember what it's called. What they're called.
Cairn? I don't know.
Well, yeah, Cairn of Doom. It's not a cairn because it's a sign.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Sign with a skull on it, and then it's got the bell hanging off of it.
The bells, the bells.
He doesn't actually look too bad.
One good thing about GW models is they do, to an extent, just do it all for you with the detail. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
It's not looking too bad so far.
No.
I'm definitely going for a darker brown.
So Dave Henderson said he missed out because he didn't have
The money's...
money for curses at the time. Yeah, and I just, maybe it's just wishful thinking. I am a wishful thinker. I'm just leaning away from the idea that they would only do a limited run of this. But
Wishful thinking or in denial?
well, I do tend to be an optimist.
Yeah. I am definitely more in the pessimist camp. But then I was
That's why we work so well together.
Could be opposites attract.
This will be brilliant. No, it won't. It'll be terrible.
It'll be awful.
That to be okay.
Between the two of us, we get there in the end. I don't know. I just don't know. Nobody knows. Only GW knows, and even to an extent, even they don't know.
Yeah. They could be okay. Well, we haven't got any at the moment, but they could be looking into options to bring it back to the table.
It could be. It seems silly in that situation to just announce then that they're not going to.
Well, yeah.
That's what.
But as I say, I still believe there's some confusion over to whether it was the models or the book.
Whether they would be doing.
I read this morning that they're not reprinting the book.
Oh, okay. But that seems even dumber to me, if anything. I can understand if they couldn't.
To be honest, I can get entirely behind that.
What, not producing the book again?
Not producing any more Black Library books.
Oh well, yeah, there's that. But I thought I thought you meant that they announced they weren't producing the rule book for.
No.
Oh, I see.
The novel.
Oh, I see. Was that? It wasn't that then.
That's what I've heard. That one of the statements, at least, was in relation to the novel.
Oh, okay.
There won't be a reprint of the novel.
I see. I mean, yeah. I mean, if that's the case, big whoop. Who cares?
Exactly.
But Matt does say it's been entirely removed from the website. Normally, it's just a
okay.
currently out of stock sort of situation. That's in that sense. It just doesn't make any sense.
No.
None of it makes any sense. I'm realising I've started painting wood and now I'm just painting it all the same brown. I'm wondering if it's going to end up looking all a bit just homogeneous by the end, but we'll see how it looks when we get there.
I was thinking the same. There's quite a lot of brown and green.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give them bright orange trousers.
Ciao. I mean, yeah, I think if it's just the novel that they're not going to produce again, then I'm fully on board with that decision as well. But if it's going to be the board game, that makes no sense to me. And just alienates people.
Yeah, and it doesn't bode well for things like we were talking about the Essentials pack of cards that are going to be valid forever. Doesn't bode well for them doing sensible things like reprinting those when they go out of print.
Yeah.
Which is definitely a concern. So obviously that's for Underworlds, not Curse City, but
yeah,
it's
VJ says if the game is as dull as Blackjack says, not reprinting the game is no great loss. Well, I'm interested. I've not watched any reviews on the game at all online. I've not watched Andy's or Guerrilla Gaming's or anybody's because I've just not had a chance, if anything. But it'd be interesting to see how the game plays in a group versus solo.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the thing. I've seen a few house rules now to get around that problem as well, which is a bit daft that you have to do that. But if it fixes the problem, then house ruling it is kind of okay, and you've got a good core game to go off.
I wonder how much GW do test these things from a solo perspective, or whether they're just, as far as they're concerned, their group activities, and that's as far as they care.
But the mechanics are the same, so the problem should have come up. If you see what I mean, it's not like Marvel Champions. It's designed mainly for 2 or 3 players.
Yeah.
So solo, there are a few quirky things that don't work, but it's not designed to necessarily work as smooth as it should. But this game should work the same because it's basically you control
all the fighters, or
half the fighters, or one fighter each. So mechanically, it shouldn't make a difference. The only thing is, I just wonder whether you just don't care so much that there's lags, or you just get over it. Whereas when you're on your own, you're looking to be entertained by the game itself. So if you have a period of time where it's all gone quiet and it's a bit rubbish, then you're like, well, this is crap. I've got the washing up to do.
Ben Howard, hi, hello. Roz said he played a hunt last night and had a blast. I assume that was solo, Roz. You weren't managing to get anybody to play with or anything, but I think a large chunk of it also comes down to just people's opinion of these kind of games. I mean,
yeah,
just because we've got a copy, or Andy from Blackjack's got a copy, or Guerrilla Miniatures or whatever have got a copy, and they play it and they go, oh, I think it's a bit shit. It might just not be the game that they're interested in which case how much of their opinion, or our opinion even, counts in that situation.
Well, I think if it's my opinion, it counts for a lot. So no, I mean, we all like different things.
Exactly.
I know Rosa likes these kind of games more than I do traditionally. If you see what I mean. So I know Rosa's will more likely like it than I do. I've just noticed this zombie has a little rat at the bottom who's chewing at his flesh, I think.
Chewing.
Which is nice. I was thinking it was his trousers, but looking at it again, I'm not sure it is.
Ben Howard's just joined the Patreon ranks. Thank you, Ben. Welcome aboard, and thank you for joining. Hopefully you're on Discord. If you are not, do jump on there. You may have joined Discord and I've already said hello and not realised that that's who you are, because your name isn't the same on Discord. If so.
Yes, yeah. People have lots of different names. Very hard to keep up. So how did you fare in our Patreon tournament this season, Pete?
Quite bad. I'm not sure I did
as reigning champion.
Reigning champion down to bottom 5, I think.
Ugh.
It was one of the games hasn't come out yet, but it was against Lenny Winks and his Crushers, and Garrick's up against Crushers. I think we can all guess what kind of discrepancy there might be there.
It's like feeding Garrick's into the grinder. I guess Corn was pleased.
Yeah, I guess he was. I guess the main problem there, well, actually in the first round, I can't remember if anybody died in the first round of that match, because anyway, I won't give too much away, but yeah.
Did you have your usual dice roll?
Not quite as bad as my usual fare, but not great.
Okay. I've actually got 3 videos on my hard drive waiting to but I'm not going to talk about those. No. Waiting to be edited, but hopefully I'll get time to do that next week, even if they're only rough. And put them out.
Even if they're just without the overlays or something like that. Yeah. Just a little bit.
Certainly one of them I played abysmally, so I won't be spending too much time editing that.
Oh, I lost the video. Oh, that's a shame. Never mind.
But it's interesting. I was trying to think how objective I was. The one that I think is the best is the one that I won.
You might be a little bit
But
biased.
it was. I think I only won by 1 glory, or maybe 2. So it was a closer game.
I do think those games tend to be better when there's only a few glory in it.
Yeah. Whereas the other 2 games, well, certainly the game I got hammered, I don't think is a particularly edifying spectacle anyway, because I didn't play very well.
VJ says Andy's been pretty vocal about not shitting on it. He wants people to enjoy it from their own opinion. Yeah, I do form their own opinion. I do think that's important. He's concerned the mechanics issue being a major drag for people's enjoyment. His own included. Yeah, and I think if the mechanics are a bit poo, then that's going to be a problem whether you're solo or group, I think.
Yeah, it's a tough one, that, because you want to give an honest opinion, but you don't want to
misrepresent something.
Slag something off. Similarly, but I think there is a bit of a in the Games Workshop community. There is a bit of a they can do no wrong. So you get vilified if you're seen as panning something.
I think there's two camps though. There seems to be there's the camp of they can do no wrong, and then there's curiously this other very vocal camp of their shit and everything they do is terrible. Like,
that's
why
true.
are you still here?
I only assume those people don't actually ever play the games and discount their opinion, but perhaps I'm wrong. Perhaps they play them anyway just to see how awful they are.
I do wonder. It is a curious thing. VJ says, please don't say Final Cut. We do use Final Cut Pro, VJ, because it's nice and idiot friendly. And we are definitely not. I find it quite good. I mean, having zero experience to base it on, I don't think the Final Cut's a big issue. I don't see any issue. I don't have any issue with it. It seems to do a lot of very handy stuff, which makes life easier.
I used it because Pete was using it, VJ, it wasn't me.
Yes, but I think because I was on a Mac, it was the best software, or at least it was the easiest to get hold of. And we actually started on something else. I think we started on the free version that comes with Mac, which obviously is okay to a point, has its limitations. Then Final Cut was quite a useful.
No, I never used that. I tried to use a free one on the PC, which was a disaster.
Oh, that was that. What's it called? DaVinci or something like that?
Yeah, it might have been. I did try a couple. I think DaVinci might have been one I just downloaded and didn't understand and never looked at it again. Yeah,
I think I did that on the PC. I looked at it for like half an hour and just realised I don't know what any of this means, and it doesn't look like Final Cut, so I'm running away now.
And that's why I'm out.
Exactly.
Yeah, James says he often feel that reviews of GW products lack a review component. Well, I wonder partly whether that's why they're so tardy and give you a lack of information about when you're actually going to get stuff. Because I haven't reviewed Curse City yet because I haven't had time to play it properly. Because you can't really review, even after, I know people banged out games pretty quick, some of the bigger things, but even after a few games, you can't really review it objectively, I don't think.
It's quite hard very quickly to do, yeah.
Yeah, it takes a few games, or several games. Over a period of time, I don't think playing sort of 4 games in an evening even gives you a good feel for the game. But perhaps I'm wrong. That's just my opinion. That's my review. My review of reviewers.
Best review of reviewers. Reviewers are rubbish. Don't listen to them. And it seems even more pointless to send all this stuff out to reviewers when they're not going to produce it anymore. So, what we can do, we can say, this game's awesome, shame you can't have it.
Yeah, well, that's where I'm at now, because I haven't written my Geek Dad review, and I'm like, well, do I write one now? Because am I being misleading and unhelpful?
Or just rubbing people's noses in it. We've got this game, it's the best game ever, and you're never going to get to play it. Sucks to be you.
Pretty sure it's unlikely to be the best game ever.
Yeah. Yes, I think all these games have the same sort of issue, like we discussed before. It's the effort that you've got versus, the flexibility of it. And if you've after a point, it's just easier to play a role-playing game.
Yeah, we've mentioned that before, haven't we?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, my contrast brown is horrific.
Let's have a look. Can't see it on camera. Can't see it on camera.
Put it on camera because it's horrific. I could never get
down.
Yeah.
God, man. Yeah. Doesn't look too bad.
All right. It's always hard to tell when you've got some white. That's when you've got white patches from the other colours.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of painting with my son, and he's getting better, but he just leaves
Patches of white.
little gaps all over it. Like, I've done it. It's like, well, there's a big gap there where that should be the same colour as that. And then he moans at me.
Yeah. It's getting that balance between, because obviously you don't want to put them off doing it. You don't want it to feel like a chore, but at the same time, if you're going to do it properly.
I do not know what colour to do this elf.
Which bit?
All of it.
Green.
Well, just dip it in the green. Whoop. I've also noticed I need to cut some mould lines off of this bow. They're so bad, even I feel I need to cut them off.
Oh God, they must be terrible.
They are. They're basically. Oh no, it is the bow. No.
I want to chop the arm off. I don't know what to do with this lady. I don't know what to do with her robes. Maybe I'll do them white. She kind of feels like she's meant to be like a...
There's a joke in there somewhere.
What's the joke? What did I miss?
I don't know. I don't know what to do with this lady. I don't know what to do with her robes.
Have I got a white? I'm pretty sure I've got a white in here somewhere. Pretty sure I bought white and then never used it. There we go. Never used apothecary white. Let's see what it's like.
Well, I like a bit of apothecary white. I'll start with some Vallejo flesh colours for this lady.
Sorry, I was on mute there. I was just sorting something out. My youngest had smashed one of the hands on his Lego model, so I was just sorting that.
Okay. No, Pete, not on the robes.
Is that a joke, or is it just you don't legitimately think I should use white on the robes, Rosa?
It's very murky. It's very murky white, Pete. Oh, I see. He's saying don't put it on the robes because it's a very murky white colour.
VJ says put it on with some medium, do 2 coats. I'll try that. I'll put one thin coat on. Good thing being white is you'd hope that worst case scenario I can go over it with something else.
Yeah.
I don't mind it being a murky white. I kind of figure she's, she's running around in the cursed city, as it were. Ooh, funky. It's more grey than a white.
It does look very grey.
Yeah, screw it. I'm just going on one coat, one fat coat. That's what I'm doing. That's how I roll.
That's what it said on the promotional material.
Yeah. We've only got a few more minutes left, actually.
Goodness me.
It's already nearly 1 o'clock.
Right through with all their technical issues and what have you. So I'm just doing a bit of light flesh tone on the elf lady. Again, I'm struggling to see which bits should have flesh and which bits are armour.
I don't think it's white's too bad. It's more like a very, very, very light grey.
It is. It basically fills your recesses grey. It's why it's great on stormtroopers.
Yeah, I can see that. It's the first time I've used this paint as well.
It gives some nice definition on the armour. But you do need to, for the best effect, you do need to add some white ink or over the top.
Does white ink actually make it white, or does it do something else?
Yeah.
Alright.
Not I don't mix it, but just when you do the apothecary grey and then you use white paint or white ink over the raised bits. I don't know if this fresh colour's a bit too pale, but it's on now.
You can always add more. Plus corpses tend to be quite pale.
Well, this is for the elf.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
They tend to be quite pale too, is what I was thinking.
That's true, yeah. And again, worst case, you can always stick another coat on.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been able to find because I haven't pretty much all of my Citadel flesh tones dried out. So I bought a load of Vallejo flesh tones, but they haven't really cut the mustard.
I quite like the Gilliman one, the contrast.
Yeah,
Gilliman
it's
flesh.
not bad actually. I do think the Citadel flesh tones are good. I'm thinking of picking up the Scale 75, Scale Colour flesh tones, because they've got a whole flesh tones box.
Yeah,
And that should do me with all the flesh tones I ever need.
that is true. You'd hope. Matt, I'm using the Apothecary White on the robe here. It's probably quite hard to tell because it's white on a white, but it's not too bad. I should probably just leave that to dry now. Just try and move it around to stop it pooling, but at the same time I don't want to risk tearing the pools to create tide marks.
My son's just come in and my wife's come in. My son's still chuntering about not being able to use the internet.
Did he just look at you and like the body snatchers just sort of go?
They didn't come round, so I'm round the corner in the kitchen. They didn't come in. I just heard he needs to go fit. But it sounds like his other brother hasn't come off, so I should be having words. So I asked them both to come off. He's Dad said I couldn't go on.
Well, they'll be free in a minute to go back on.
Exactly, the voice faded away as they left the room. Right, so I'm trying some Scale 75 Black Forest Green.
Black Forest Gatto.
Black Forest Gatto, yeah. No, this is actually green. This one, Black Forest Green on this elf. Oh yeah.
Matt VJ says, watch out for Scale 75 paints here. They can be quite difficult to work with compared to Citadel and Vallejo and so on. So yeah.
I've found them pretty good. I've got some off of Paint Battle and Roll, and I've really enjoyed them. You do have to give them, some of them have to really shake as they separate out. The medium separates out.
Let's get one of those mixer things.
But well, so far it's just good. It's just a good aerobic exercise. I haven't needed to do that. There's one that is particularly difficult, but I've found them pretty good so far. They do dry very matte,
which can be nice.
Yeah, which can be good, or sometimes. So the red ones I did on the skinks, I think, came out really well. The red, I was really pleased with that. The blue, I'm doing Kixie Tucker. He's here. I'm doing in blue and purple. He's very. I don't know if you can see that. He's only partially done. But he. There we go. They're very. The colours are very flat. Which is, I don't know, not ideal, but I haven't finished it yet, so it may be that I can lift them with some highlighting. But no, I've really enjoyed them, and so far they are at the moment they're my go-to paints. But I'll probably get bored of that in about 3 months' time and something else.
Buy some more. Yeah. Definitely an agitator is always a good thing to put in. If nothing else, just stick in a little ceramic glass bead. He says better than a
Ben
wet
Howard says
palette.
he's below 2002. Better than a wet palette. A vortex booster agitates are the best paint investment. Interesting. I'm intrigued. But to me, they seem like a pointless waste of time.
Well, the agitator.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. Ben Howard says he's Malone 2002 on Discord. I don't know when you joined, Ben. Hopefully, I mean, literally, is it like today now that you joined?
Because we had another one this morning, didn't we?
We did.
So it'd be great.
It is. We've got two. Awesome.
Right.
Thank you very much, Ben. Welcome aboard.
Brilliant.
That's
really good.
Fantastic. We are very close to hitting 100 supporters.
Yeah.
Which is amazeballs.
That is something else.
We have to do some kind of giveaway. Well, not giveaway. Recommend a friend and get a month free.
Yeah.
There you
something
go.
Like. Yeah. So definitely something to mark the occasion, anyway.
Yeah.
Need to get more leagues going. Get everybody in for the leagues. Just become league organisers.
Yes, I'd be interested to find out. Ben, did you join because of the leagues that we're doing, or was it for some other reason? We need to run a little poll, really, to ask all our lovely patrons. What is it that got you involved?
I reckon it was your beard.
Could be. Could have been your haircut. Maybe it was your boyish
cases,
haircut.
we'll see my haircut. There will be a photo of my haircut going live on Patreon sometime this afternoon. My wife having a lunchtime drink with one of her friends. But When she's back, I'll get her to take a photo.
Intergloria says his friend got a vortex mixer and it's very good, but seems really, really extra. It does kind of feel very, very extra.
Yeah, I just because they're not cheap either, are they?
No, I think some of the better ones are very expensive indeed.
So I can't see. He says next week I've got a vortex mixer.
It's the best thing in the world. I can't believe how I ever painted without one.
I am quite a lot like that about stuff. I am a bit of a reformed smoker about all sorts of things in life. Apart from smoking, interesting. Still smoke 40 a day. No. I do tend to poo-poo stuff and discover it's really good and then evangelise about it.
I guess that's better than always maintaining the grounds of nope, not doing it. It's rubbish and you're stupid.
Yeah, that's true.
As long as you're not too preachy about it.
Oh, I don't think I am. I think if I start to get that way, I realise. I'm talking about Joe Wicks.
Don't worry, Rob. I'll always tell you.
Thank you. Just convert to beardism.
You've got to try it.
I have grown hair. I can do that. I'm old enough now. But it just gets to a point where it's just too itchy. And then also, I'm not very good at like looking after things. It's amazing. It's amazing all my children are still alive. And so I just think
you had three to hedge your bets.
Yeah, basically. I just think my beard will just become unruly and I won't look after it properly, and it'll be like just basically like my hedge.
I would say my experience of beards is that they always go through that incredibly itchy stage, and once you get past the 3 to 4 week incredibly itchy stage, suddenly they don't itch anymore.
Right. Also, my wife's not keen.
Oh, well, that is always a big deciding
I don't need
factor.
to give her another reason not to find me attractive. She can find enough on her own.
The list is already big enough.
Yeah.
Try to work that list down a bit. Right. Well, there we go. It's past 1 o'clock, so we need to say adieu.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for joining in this evening, this morning, this afternoon. I hope we've helped bring a little entertainment to your lunchtime paint-a-thon.
I hope so. Do let us know whether the angles... I know a lot of you are painting anyway, so not really watching us, just listening to us burble on. Do let us know if there's anything we could improve. I know my painting angle isn't always really good. I've just painted green all over this mask, because I was talking all over the mask instead of the mask on the face, so that's annoying. So I could definitely improve my painting. But yeah, if there's anything we can do to make the shots better or the experience better, what can we do to make the experience better?
What can we do?
Yeah.
Also, you know, do let us know if you are a patroner. What made you take that lunge and decide to actually give us real monies? Because then we can try and do more of it and make it more worthwhile.
We may find it's the fact that we're not really charging real monies, and everybody leaves next month.
Everyone's like, oh crap, they actually want money now. Bunch of idiots doing absolutely nothing. I'm not paying them for this crap.
So she's basically turning into the 80s TV Green Goddess. My elf.
That's very green.
Isn't it?
That's very green. I've just done lots of little bits on various models, but nothing, no real progress or anything.
I got bored of doing the wood on the zombies. I've done 3 zombies, the wood and the flesh, and then my wood colour ran out. I ran out of wood. Always a problem on camera. Always a problem on camera. That.
Always an issue.
And so I stopped doing the wood. So then I carried on with the elf. It's amazing how little I can achieve in an hour.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Done some bits on that one. I've just done the skin on that one because I want to try and do a lighter wood on that one, I think. But there we go. Hope everybody had some fun, and we will see you soon in the Chasm, maybe in the Cursed City or the Beast Grave.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
See you soon.
See you soon. Bye.